before they get started on thinking about disclosing climate-related information, I'd suggest that first of all they think about what their story is, what story they want to tell, and how their business model creates and sustains value. I then sort of apply that climate lens to that and think about it from a governance perspective. Information about who the organization has oversight of climate change, whose responsibility is it, who's going to sign it off, who at board level, do we need a board committee, do we need a committee internally that cuts across functions of the business, how are we collecting, who's ultimately responsible for climate related issues within the business. Secondly, I'd think about strategy and policy, so both internally and externally. So the plans the organisation has to mitigate and adapt to climate change related issues, but also the external policies that may be affecting our business. So the transition risks that we may need to be thinking about managing, which brings me on to risks and opportunities, which would be the third area I would consider companies really think about how they report on. And that's the actual positive as well as the negative impacts from climate change. We often forget about the positives, but really focus on the positives and the negatives on the financial position of the organisation from climate-related risks and opportunities. I then think about it from a metrics and targets perspective. So the impacts and dependencies, for example, on natural resources. I mean, one of the classic old first generation indicators, GHG emissions, and other relevant metrics associated with that, everything from energy usage to the annual emissions from the whole business operations, supply chains. Think about them from a year-on-year perspective and make sure that they are actually comparable. Now, all of this, everything I've just said, if it's going to be of any use to the investor and be able to help you consistently tell your story year on year, they need to be comparable. Again, the word consistent, and decision useful.